This is breaking news.
Trump News. Live. Ex-president kicks off 2024 campaign with attacks on trans rights and radical racists. Donald Trump kicked off his 2024 presidential election trail over the weekend with two major campaign events, launching attacks on what he called the cult of gender ideology and radical racists. The former president spoke to about 200 people in the South Carolina State Capitol building in a notably muted event in contrast to his usual raucous rallies in front of thousands of devotees. "We're going to stop the left-wing radical racists and perverts who are trying to indoctrinate our youth, and we're going to get their Marxist hands off our children," Mr. Trump said as he addressed familiar themes at the rally. Mr. Trump also said he would focus on defeating the cult of gender ideology and reaffirm that God created two genders, men and women. Saturday's rally was his first since announcing his run to reclaim the White House in 2024. Before heading to Columbia, he told a small crowd at the New Hampshire Republican Party's annual meeting in Salem that he is more angry and more committed than ever before. Donald Trump hit the campaign trail on Saturday for the first time since announcing his bid to run for the White House in 2024, visiting two early voting states and brushing aside criticism that his run was off to a slow start. Addressing an event in New Hampshire before heading to South Carolina, he said, "I'm more angry now, and I'm more committed now than I ever was in Columbia." The former president railed against transgender rights and the teaching of critical race theory, a once obscure academic concept that has sparked school board protests and classroom bans in some states. "We're going to stop the left-wing radical racists and perverts who are trying to indoctrinate our youth, and we're going to get their Marxist hands off our children," Mr. Trump said. "We're going to defeat the cult of gender ideology and reaffirm that God created two genders, men and women. We're not going to allow men to play women's sports." Former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley took a veiled shot at both former President Donald Trump and President Joe Biden over their shared dreams of seeking the presidency in 2024. The ex-Trump administration official was being interviewed on Fox News when she took the opportunity to say that a young generation of leadership was needed in Washington. "I think we need a young generation to come in, step up and really start fixing things," she said, adding, "Can I be that leader? Yes, I think I can be that leader." Donald Trump has described the fatal beating of Tyre Nichols as horrible and says that it never should have happened. The former president's comments came one day after the city of Memphis publicly released video footage of the attack earlier this month. The video shows a violent confrontation between officers from the unit and 29-year-old Nichols, during which officers can be seen punching him and using batons and taser weapons to subdue him as he cried out for his mother. Donald Trump lashed out at Ron DeSantis and called him disloyal as the Florida governor weighs a run for the 2024 Republican nomination against his former political benefactor. Mr. Trump spoke to Politico and CNN on his plane as he campaigned in New Hampshire and South Carolina, two states that have the first primary contests in the country. "When I hear that he might run, I think it's very disloyal," Mr. Trump told reporters. Mr. Trump criticized Mr. DeSantis for his record during the COVID pandemic. "There are Republican governors that did not close their states," Mr. Trump said. "They're trying to rewrite history." He added, "Ron would have not been governor if it wasn't for me." Good morning and welcome to our live updates on the news and reaction from Donald Trump's first rallies of his 2024 presidential election campaign.